Hi everyone, Salesforce integration training day 4. So let's see what are we going to learn today. We'll quickly go through the previous session and we'll talk about the JSON generator. So today practically we will see how to implement a JSON generator. So we have seen yesterday JSON generator. So we have completed the JSON class. In the JSON class, we have a serialized, deserialized methods. We have seen all these methods, how to use these methods we have seen. The second one is a JSON generator class. Right now we are going to implement today JSON generator. Then we will talk about the JSON parser. Then we'll talk about the JSON token. Now JSON generator is which is used to serialize the complex logic. Right. So whenever you wanted to build your own logic or when you want to build customize a JSON structure, in that case we will use this. So basically, in order to create a JSON generator, there are 3 steps are there. Step 1, first we need to create a JSON generator. How can we create it? System.JSONGenerator equal to JSON.createGenerator, and we need to pass the value true. And the second step is start writing the JSON and end the JSON. That means in the JSON generator, we have a method called writeStartObject, writeEndObject. In between this, we will be writing the logic. And then finally, we have a generate the file, where we will be generating the file by using the method called getAsAstring. So what are the getAsAstring? The result is that will be stored in the string format in the result. So these are the 3 steps. So let's go ahead and implement the logic. How can we implement? So basically, yesterday we have seen that whenever I'm querying the data, for example, I'm querying the, let's say that I'm querying the data, account data, I'm querying it. So list of account, ACC1 equal to select name, phone, industry. These are the fields which I'm going to query from the account object. Now, whatever I'm querying here, if I say that JSON.serialize, if I say JSON.serialize, so that means JSON.serialize, what will happen? It is going to give me the entire data, including the URL, including the some attributes, all the data it is going to give me. So that data which I do not need it, that data, that means unnecessary data, the third party system, whenever I'm sending this data to the third party system, they will say that we do not need this unnecessary data. We do not need unnecessary data. So let's go ahead and execute this. What I'm doing is I'm querying the data. When I query the data, it is going to give me this information. This is giving me in single line. So what I'll do is instead of a serialize, I'll say that serialize pretty. Let's execute this. Now, for every record, it is giving me the URL type, the attributes it is giving, ID it is giving. I did not mention the ID anywhere. In the query also, I did not mention the ID. In the query also, I did not mention the ID. It is giving me the ID, record type ID. These all details which is giving, which is unnecessary data that I do not want to send it. So basically, instead of using the JSON class, instead of using the predefined JSON class, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go for a JSON generator. How can we implement a JSON generator? Whenever you wanted to implement a JSON generator, you have to create a class. You have to create a class. You cannot do it in the anonymous window. JSON class, you can test it in the anonymous window, but JSON generator, you cannot do, right? So it is better to create a class. So let's go ahead and create a class. Let's say that I'm creating the serialized JSON. So JSON underscore serialize. So this is my class name. Now in this class, I'll be creating a method. So public, I'll use a void, and let's say that I'm creating a JSON, create JSON. Now here in the create JSON, within the method, what I'll do is I need to implement a 3 steps which we have already discussed. So we have a 3 steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. So these 3 steps which I'll be implementing within the method. So let's say that first step which I need to write is I need to create a JSON generator. So system dot JSON generator, let's say here JS equal to JSON dot create generator. Now here pretty, I'm giving it as a true. Now this is the first step. This is first step, step 1. Step 1 is create JSON generator. Now here system.JSONGenerator JS equal to JSON.create generator. Now here JS dot, the second step which I need to implement. What is the second step? First step is done. First step is creating the JSON generator. Second step is we need to write a JSON. Now in order to write a JSON, now I need to do the JS dot. We have a different methods which are available. The method is starting with write start object. Now I need to start writing the object, and we have another method which is called as JS.write end object. Now anything if I wanted to write, I need to write it in between these two. So basically this is the step 2 is, let's say that this is a step 2.1. This step 2.1 is start writing the JSON. Now here step 2.2 is ending the JSON. Now these steps are done. Now the third step is which I need to generate a file. In order to generate a file, JS.get as string. Now this I'll be storing this into the string result. Equal to JS.get as string. Now this is generating the file. This is the third step. Step 3 is get the final output JSON. System.debug. Now finally I'll print this result. Now this is entire structure. In between this, we will be writing a logic. Now, if I try to execute this, I do not have anything. It's just a structure of the JSON generator. Total 4 lines. Where these 4 lines are in order to write the JSON generator. So first I'm creating the JSON generator, then I'm starting the object and ending the object. Then finally we have a final output JSON. Now here step 2.1 is basically which I'm going to start writing the JSON, and then I'll be ending here. If I try to execute this, there is nothing is there. So my result will be empty. If I execute this, my result will be empty. Now, what I'll be doing here is, let's assume that I'm getting some data from the third-party system. What data I'm getting it from the third-party system? Name, phone, industry. These are the data that I'm getting from the third-party system. Now, whatever I'm getting from the third-party system, I'll directly accept it in the parameter. I'll directly accept in the parameter name, comma, string phone, comma, string industry, name, phone, industry, name, phone, industry. Now here, which I'm accepting it, whatever the third party is sending the data, I'll be passing to the parameter for this method. For this method, I'm passing the parameter. Now I'll take this parameter. What I'll do is I'll create an account. So the account creation is between the try catch. So I'll be using here try catch. Let's say that catch whenever there is something error. So I wanted to show the error also. Because the logic here is whenever I receive some data from the third party system, take that information and create whatever the action needs to be done in Salesforce, do it, and then send the response back to the third party system. If there is something wrong, then I will be sending the error details. If everything goes fine, then I'll be sending the status called success. So this is what I'll be doing it. So that's the reason we have written the try catch. Now within this try catch, so what I'll be doing is, now account A equal to new account. Account A equal to new account. Now here A dot name equal to NM. Name equal to NM. A dot phone equal to, I'll be setting the PH. A dot industry equal to IND. Industry. Now finally, I'll be inserting the data. Now this is what I'll be doing it. So account, let's say here ACC, single account. Now ACC dot name, ACC dot phone number, ACC dot industry, account industry, and then finally I'll be inserting the account details. In case if there is something wrong, if everything processes perfectly fine, what do I need to do? I need to send the status called success. I need to send the details called success message. I need to send the success message. Now here, in order to send the success message, what I need to do? I need to build my own custom JSON. Now here, in order to build the custom JSON, I'll be using the JSON generator object name. Whatever the instance name is there, that instance name dot. We have something called write string field, which is expecting the field name and the string. Now here the first field name is status. Because the response I'll be sending whether the status is successful or not. String, I'll mention here. If everything try catch, everything perfectly it is processed, that means it is a success. Created the record successfully. Now, similarly, I'll be writing this is the string field. Now, along with the success message, I need to pass the 18-digit ID. So that 18-digit ID, I can get it from the account. So basically here JS dot write, I have a directly write field. So directly I can take it from the write ID field. Directly I can get it from the acc.id. So here ID is acc.id. And field name is, let's say that this is ID. Right? Write ID field is directly I can capture the ID from above whatever insert is happening. From that I'm capturing the ID and placing here. Now next message. What is the next message that I have? Third message is string. Which I can use directly JS.write string field. write string field. Here it is a message. And the message, I'm going to place it here, account created successfully. Account created successfully. Then finally, let's assume that I'm going to send one more thing, code. This code is whatever here it is there, code 201, right? So this code is going to give whether it is a successful or not. In the HTML, we have a different status codes are available. Different status codes are available. So whenever you are implementing the integration, these codes are important. These codes are going to tell the other system whether we have received a proper message or was there any failure. If it is a 200, okay. If it is a 201, successful. If it is a 204, also successful. If it is a 401, right? 401, login required or unauthorized. Or 400 is there was a validation error. So every code has a certain meaning of error. Every code has certain meaning of the error. So I'll ping you this error code. So these are the standard. These are the standard one. These are for the standard for HTML. Whoever use the protocol, this is for basically HTTP standard codes. If you go to the w3school.com, if you go to the w3school.com, in the w3school.com, you will see there is a concept called HTTP messages. HTTP messages. Now, if you go to the HTTP messages, you have a different type of details. Like if it is a information, it starts with 100. Like it starts with 1. If it is a successful messages, it starts with 2. But every code has a certain information. If it is a redirection, it starts with a 3. If it is a client error, it starts with a 4. Right? If it is a server error, then it starts with 5. So like every code has a certain meaning of it. 1 to 5. Standard codes are 1 to 5. There are few more are also there, like a 600, like that it is there. But those are not needed. 1 to 5 is the main one that errors. Any HTTP, you take a normal protocol. You take any protocol, these are the errors. So based on this code, we will understand whether it is a successful or not. If there is a error, like if we have received the 401, that means unauthorization issue. If we have received the 400, bad request. If I have received something different value, like a length is required 411. Now, these are the different standard HTTP codes. These are the standard HTTP codes. Now, I'll ping you this also. These are the very standard one. That means nobody can change. Like based on the application, I cannot change the error. These are the standard which is provided by the HTTP, provided by the HTML. Right? So these are the standard codes. So these codes we can utilize and tell the other system saying that whether we are done with the proper execution or not. Now, if it is a try, I'm able to insert. That means successfully I'm able to do that. So what I'll do is, here a code is a number. Code is a number. Code is 100, 101, 103, 200. These are the numbers. So in order to insert the number within the JSON, then we have to use the method called write number. Write number. So we need to use the number field. There is something called number field. Now here you need to use the number field, and field name is, let's say this is the code. And here the value is, let's say 201, which is a successful. It is a successful. Like this, you have a many methods in the JSON generator. You have a many methods in the JSON generator. Like if you want to go with something null field value. Now you wanted to check whether the field is null or not. Then we have to use write null field. Right? Write null field. If you want to use the ID, then you need to use write ID field. So whatever you wanted to write in the JSON, whatever you wanted to write in the JSON, if it is a string, then you have to use a write string field. If it is an ID, then you have to use write ID field. If it is a code number, then you have to use write number field. If it is a date field, then you have to use write date field. If it is a time, then you have to use a method called write time field. So based on the JSON, because you are building this JSON by your own. Salesforce is not building this. This is you are building the JSON, because this custom JSON you wanted to send it to the third party system. Now, whenever you wanted to use the date field, use the write date field. If you want to use the date time, then use the date time field, right? Wherever you see the field is going to have a two parameters within this. One is the field name and the date, whatever the value is there. So we always use write date time field, write date field, write boolean field, right? So write ID name, write ID field, write null field, right? So write number field. So like this, you have a write object field if you want to pass the object details. So wherever you see write string field, it has a two parameters. So mostly we use which starts with the write and end with field. Those are the one which we use the methods. Those are the methods which we use it. Now, that's it. So this is a successful message. This is successful message. For example, if I receive any error, now while inserting the account, I got some error. Immediately it will go into the catch. Immediately the cursor will go into the catch. So in the catch, you need to implement a same JSON, but here you need to say status equal to failed. Status is failed. You will not be having a account ID, and the string is account failed to create. Or what you can do is, instead of this account failed to create, what you can say here is, as we have an exception here, you can directly use e dot get message. So whatever the error message is there, directly it will print the error message. Now here code, I'm going to say 401 unauthorized. 401 unauthorized. So this is the error JSON error JSON this is. Now once this is done, then I'm saying here end object. That means end the object here. Now finally, I'm saying here result js.get as a string, and result I'm storing it here. Right? So that's all. Now our JSON is done. The class is implemented perfectly. Now what I'll do is I'll take this class name, go to the anonymous window. In the anonymous window, let me initialize or create an object for this. JS equal to new class name. Now here JS dot, we have a create JSON. In the create JSON, I'm expecting the three string values. Now here create JSON is basically, for example, now I'm creating the account. Let's say the account name is, let's create the account name. Emirates. Okay, let's create the account name Emirates. And here the phone number. Let me give some phone number here. And then industry. Industry is, let's say, energy. Now, these three parameters which I'm passing to the create JSON. Now, let me go ahead and execute it. Click on highlight this, execute the highlighted one. And let's click on a debug. Now, what is the message? It is coming. Message is says that status equal to success. ID is this. Message is account created. Code is 201. That means account is created in the system, and we are sending this message to the third party system. Now, did really account is created in the system? Let's go ahead and see. Emirates account should be created. See here, Emirates account which is created. When it is created, just know it is created. Emirates, which is just now it is created, right? So right now it is created 7:29 a.m. Right? So it created the record. It created the record and everything successfully inserted, and it is sending the JSON response back to the third-party system saying that status is successful with the code 201. Now let's assume I do not have a name. Name I'm not passing. Let's assume that from the third-party system, we are not receiving the name. In that case, what will happen? Let me go ahead and execute the highlighted one. Now click on here, debug only. It says that failed. Why it is failed? Insert failed because required field is missing. Name is missing. How I'm getting this required field is missing? Because I'm printing the e.get message. E.get message. Whenever I print e.get message, that will give me the clarity that what is exactly missing in the, why it went to the exception, why it went to the catch exception. So there we will have a proper message. So that message I'm printing here, sending these details to third-party system. Sending these details to the third-party system. Any questions on the JSON generator? Whatever.
Ma'am, can I explain again the e.get message again?
E.get message, it is an exception. So for this exception, whenever there is some error happens, whenever there is any error happens between the try and catch. So whenever it comes to the catch, while bringing into the catch, you are expecting some parameter. So for example, here it is failed, right? So whenever it is failed, your cursor immediately, it comes back to the, from here, it will directly go to the catch. When it goes to the catch, automatically Salesforce is passing the parameter called exception. There is some data which is passing to the exception. Why it is failed to execute the logic which is there in the try. So that exception, you will be having the information. So whenever you say e dot, in the e dot, you have a different information. Whenever you say e dot, you have a different information. Like get line number. You wanted to know which line number is the issue. Which line number is the issue. You wanted to know what is exact message, error message, why it is failed. So if you wanted to know, you can know the get message. Get type, if you want to know what type of error it is. Now let's take a get message. Now I wanted to build another one where it says line number. I wanted to know the line number. Now if you wanted to know the line number of where exactly it is breaking. So in that case, you can print the line number here. Line number, you can print it. Or else you wanted to know more information about the status. Like, for example, the type, where exactly the type is missing. Now here, get type name. What is the type name? This is type name. So if you, this is basically exception is going to give you the more clarity for the developers. More clarity for the developers whenever it is missed to insert the data or missed to perform certain actions here. Missed to perform certain actions. It's an integer. Right, so whenever it is missed to perform certain action in this JSON, so in that case, go here and capture more information about the error. Capture more information about the error. Now let me go ahead and execute this. Execute the highlighted one. Now it will give me more information. Message is, this is the message, it failed. Line number, what is the line number? It is failed. Line number is failed here while inserting the account. So which is a line number. Type system.dml exception. DML exception. While inserting the record, it failed. Clear?
Well, we can make it a method as static, right? If you want.
Yeah, if you want, you can make it a static. Whenever you make a static, you need to pass all the fields within this static. And whenever you are executing this, it has to be static. You can make the static also. Now, let's go ahead and implement one more. So file, new Apex class. Let's say that this time I'm going to query the account details. Let's say JSON sockle. So this is my class name. Within that, I'll create a method public void Let's say that I'm going to query the account details directly and will send the list of accounts from our system to the third party. So what I'm going to do is, we have so many accounts in our system. Now all these accounts, wherever the phone number is not null, all those accounts I'll be sending to the third party system, like a 200 accounts or 300 accounts. Some data I'm sending it from Salesforce to the third party system. Let's say here, send account details. Send account details. Send account details. Now here, I'll give that system dot JSON generator, system dot JSON generator, JS equal to JSON dot create generator. Create generator, and here pretty is true. Now this is the first step. Now the second step is JS dot write start object, JS dot write end object, right? So this is the second step. And the third step is I need to build it. I need to generate a file. So that means I need to say here, let me store that value into the result equal to JS dot get as string. Finally, I'll print the data here, system dot debug. Let's say I'm going to print the result directly. Now this is the structure of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to query the data, query the account, and that account details I'll be sending to third party system. Now within the write object, what I'll do is I'll implement try, and then I'll implement catch. In the catch, I'll be expecting the exception details parameter. Now this is the structure. Now within this, what I'll be doing is list of account ACC list equal to, let's say I'm querying the select name comma phone from account where phone number is not equal to null. Phone is not equal to null. Now this, let me go ahead and execute this, whether it will work or not. Okay, it is working. And it will give me the total 39 records wherever the phone is not equal to null. Now end this here. Once I have the data, what I'll do is I'll be building the information. That means I'll be looping through each account. Then I'll be building the JSON structure. Now for loop account ACC colon ACC list. Within this, what I'll do, JS dot write Now, first one is a account name. Account name is a string. Write string field. Field name is account name. I'll be sending the account name, which is a acc.name. Now I'm building the JSON here. I'm building the JSON structure. Now the next one is js.phone number. Phone number is also string. So I'll write string field. Right? String field. Now here the field name is phone. Field name is phone. String, I'll be passing the string details. Now phone number is in Salesforce, it stores in the string format. Now next one, I'll say that status, js.write. Status is a string, so let me use the string field. Now here field name is status. And the string is success. Right, so this is the information which I wanted to build it. Now, while building this, while implementing this JSON structure, if I receive any error within the try, then it will go to the catch. In the catch, what I'll do is I'll simply print JS dot, let's say write string field. I'm going to print the string details here. Let's say status equal to failed. Status equal to, I'll say failed. I'll say failed. Now what is, now along with this, if I wanted to send the code also, HTML code, in case if I wanted to send the HTML code, I can send the HTML code as well. Let's say that here it is a failed. Then I'll say here js dot write number, write number. HTML code is number. It is not giving. Write number field. Now here the field name is, I'll say code, and then integer. Let's say here it is a 401. Similarly, on top also I'll write the code which is a 201. If it is a successful, then I'm printing the code 201. If it is failure, I'm printing the code 401. What is the error catch exception? Exception. Okay. Now, if I wanted to print the error message, I can print the error message also. So here it is a message. For this message, what I'll do is I'll directly use the exception e dot get message. Let's save this. E dot get message. Now click on here debug. Now let me execute this. Now this time we have a JSON underscore socle. JSON underscore socle JS1 equal to new JSON socle. And I do not have any parameters here. Directly I'm executing because I'm sending the account details to the third party system. So I'll say here JS1 dot, what are the method name is there? That is the method name. Highlight this line and click on a execute highlighted one. Execute highlighted one. Now it is giving me all the details. So here it is the debug. So first account name, which is a workbench 3, phone, status code, only whatever the information that I can send it, only those information I have built it here. I have built those information. So it is sending all 39 records in the JSON format. All 39 records it is sending in the JSON format. Now let's go homework. Implement JSON generator to send lead information to third-party system. Now, what information you will be sending it? Now here, let's go to the Salesforce. Now, if we go to the lead, in the lead, we have a details, lead name, company, industry, lead status, email. Lead name, company, lead status, email, right? And more is annual revenue. Annual revenue. Now, these are the fields you have to send it to the third-party system. This is the first homework. Second homework is implement JSON generator to create opportunity that is received from third-party system. You take any field in the opportunity. You take any field in the opportunity. Whatever you are receiving from the third-party system, you need to create an opportunity. Then, if it is a successful, send a success message with code 201. If it is a error, then send the error message with code 401. This is the second homework. This is the first one. This is the second one. Any questions on the JSON generator? No, tomorrow we will see the JSON parser. The next one is JSON parser. JSON parser is whenever you're receiving the data from third-party system, whenever you are receiving the data from the third-party system in the JSON format, how can you build that? So parser class, it's a JSON parser class. Now, how you will implement a JSON parser class, we will see tomorrow. So today that's it. Tomorrow means Monday we have a class. So that's all for today.